let's get to this border story. Wow, this is going to be a hot one. All I know about what happened at the border, okay, is one thing when I watch one network and a completely different thing when I watch another one, okay? Now, Amanda Seales made a video about it that I think went semi-viral, like all her stuff, because I know she just waits for anything that she can turn into content that skews woke. And I don't hate on it. If I was her and I was that type of content creator, I'd do the same thing. And that picture of that guy on a horse with his reins, I guess swiping them at the Haitian guy, is a gift that won't stop giving. If you want to talk about it as things haven't changed in America. Here's the photo. Jesus Christ. Oh, man. I mean, you not want them on horses? Do you want them in tanks? You want them running? I mean, what are we supposed to do? I know the image is bad with them on horses, but, you know, they're a lot less dangerous on a horse than they are in a tank. And it's also in the water. What are they supposed to swim to them? I mean, I don't know what you want. I mean, you can't just break into a country. There's fucking 12,000 people that we know of, and that's just what the media is reporting, that are just fucking breaking into America. I get it. They're refugees and Haitian sucks. I get it. It's not a perfect world, but that doesn't mean we can't have a border. It doesn't mean we can solve all the world's problems and just let everybody in. It doesn't work that way. Okay? And if you want all that, then you must take them all in to your house. It's my same. I have 3 Yanni policies, okay? You don't want to get the vaccine, sign a fucking deal that says if I get COVID, I must recover at home, even if I'm 400 pounds. So sign that deal. That's Yanni policy number 1. If you don't want the vaccine, fine. But you must recover at home when you get COVID. It's not if. Everyone will get it. You must recover at home if things go south. That's my first one. My second one is if you are against abortion, you must adopt. Every single kid must be adopted by someone who's pro-abortion. They must live in your house, period. So if you sign a referendum or whatever those lists are, what are those called when people make those lists? Whatever it's called. Petition. You sign a petition, your name goes in the books in the United States of America that you will take at least 2 unwanted children in as they grow up. You must adopt them. That's my second rule. My third rule is if you are for not having a border, then you must take them all into your house. 12,000 Haitians are going to live in your house. And that's it. It's not a perfect world, you fucking young idealist. That's why you can't have 20-year-olds in Congress. Congress, that's Yanni law number 5. I don't want someone who's fucking over 75 who falls asleep and eats applesauce unless he's healthy. But also, I don't want anyone under the age of 35. Because below 35, I had dreams and I was stupid too. So it's gotta be between 35 and like 75's gotta be the cutoff. You can't have a fucking 28-year-old with hot titties running around in a fucking dress that says "Tax the Rich," made by an immigrant from Toronto. As it turns out, AOC's working class designer, that's what she called her, her working class immigrant designer, is a girl who's dating her boyfriend is an heir to a billionaire fortune, some fucking famous family. She's also an immigrant from Toronto. That's more of a lateral move than an immigrant. And here's the best part. She owes taxes in multiple states, and she's been tax evading, and her company's been tax evading, and also been using slave labor. Call it what you want. Unpaid interns is slave labor. Even Drew gets a fucking chicken sandwich once in a while. So, and then she goes on, AOC went on her Instagram live feed, and she said, I just want to teach you something. For those people who are using the word ironic, saying what I did was ironic. I want to teach you what ironic means and how they were wrong. And you're just going, you're owning yourself, AOC. No, it was ironic. It was ironic that you were wearing a dress called Tax the Rich at an event where you had to be super rich to get into. And for all the other reasons I just mentioned. It's super ironic that you're wearing a dress that says Tax the Rich at the Met Gala, made by a woman who needs to be taxed, who owes lots of taxes. That is actually the perfect definition of irony. In fact, it couldn't get more pointed. But you got nice tattoos and probably a 3-piece. AOC is just too young to be in Congress. So let's finish up on this thing. It's like, so if you watch CNN and MSNBC, you're just going, oh my God, slavery is back at the border. And then if you watch Fox News, they're just going, we're being invaded. I think the truth is in the middle, okay? We're not being invaded. These are desperate refugees coming from a desperate situation. And I was brought up by a human rights lawyer to have all the sympathy for those people and them just searching for a better life. But I am an adult and I understand you can't have a country without a border. I mean, you just can't do that. You can't, people cannot immigrate illegally. Right now, there's a lot of Haitians and other immigrants from other countries are just some are being sent back and some are just being released in the United States with the promise that they're going to show up at an immigration office in 60 days. I mean, what the fuck are we doing? Now, Joe Biden rolled back a lot of the immigration policies of Trump, but he does keep one extreme one that just deports people. But there are some that are just taking buses in or just being released in the United States because this is a very complicated issue. When you see shit like this and you're a practical person, you're going, Trump's wall was not that bad of an idea. I mean, the Rio Grande is just like you could just walk across it. As the Haitians tried to climb onto the U.S. side of the river Sunday afternoon, the agent shouted, let's go, get out now, back to Mexico. The agent menacingly swung his reins like a whip, charging his horse towards the men in the river who were trying to return to an encampment under the international bridge in Del Rio after buying food and water in Ciudad Acuña, Mexico. And someone writes, is this really America? Oh my God. Yeah, is it so bad? Is it so bad? Is that why Joe Biden, our president, just committed 1 billion COVID vaccines to the developing world? Is it so bad? Is that why one of our most famous billionaires just donated $1 billion to climate change? Is it so bad? And most telling of all, is it so bad that fucking 12,000 people are risking their lives to fucking leave the comfort of their homes to try to sneak into this horrible country? It must be so bad. That's why everyone is trying to come here. God damn the media. I mean, what the fuck are we talking? This journalist is going, is this America? Is this America that a guy on a horse aggressively swung his reins and said, get back? And because you could take it out of context and put it up against an overseer from fucking, I'm white, so let's just say 800 years ago. Because that Louis C.K. bit is the best about white people with slavery. He's like, they always tack on another 100 years. He goes, that was like 3,000 years ago. You take something from fucking 150 plus years ago, and you go, it's the same thing. It obviously is not, and we've obviously lost our mind, but it's not all our fault. I do just blame the runaway media, man. We were always worried about the runaway court, the Supreme Court, which you can make a little bit of a case for now, especially with their refusal to uphold Roe v. Wade in Texas and allow those loopholes to go through, although constitutionalists could argue something else. But you can make an argument now a little bit because Roe v. Wade is the land of the law. It's federal law. You know, it's common law, and Texas is circumventing it. And now Florida is seeking to do it, and 12 other states are seeking to do that too. You can make a case and it's because the Supreme Court is laying off and not upholding the present law of the land based on common law, which is what our country is. You could make an argument it's a runaway Supreme Court now, just with that issue. But you can make a massive case that we are living in an era where there is an absolute runaway media that has the one goal of eliciting emotion from you the same way a Budweiser commercial does with a cute fucking Dalmatian running next to a Klondike bar, a Clonsdale, while fucking Christmas bells ring. And then they go drink piss water at the end of it. Brings families together. Heartwarming video of a mother who lost her tit to breast cancer and a grandma on a COVID ventilator, but they're all by her bedside. And then you see a Dalmatian run in and lick her paw, use her paw on her hand and lick her face. And then all of a sudden, drink Budweiser. You can make a slight argument that advertisers are manipulating your emotions to tie those good feelings to their shit product. You could make a tiny bit of an argument, maybe a connection. I don't know. I'm not sure if there's a connection. And you could make a tiny argument that journalists have now become advertisers and marketers and are doing the same thing. Instead of reporting on all the policies and issues and complications of the border and representing both sides and the challenges and this and that and this and that and getting into the details of it, you could just show an image of a guy on a horse. You could show a picture of a guy on a horse and a Haitian illegal immigrant. There's no illegals. People aren't illegal. I'm sorry, a Haitian refugee. I'm sorry. On notice. I'll use that whip to whip myself. I am on notice for using the improper nomenclature. Haitian refugee going like this. And you feel that emotion, and now you've tied that emotion to immigration. And you've clicked. You clicked. It's an absolute runaway media that just writes what it wants, and then if anyone protests, all they do is make a little footnote. They don't even remove those articles. They just put a footnote and say, "We regret the error."
Yannis Pappas.